the Planmeca software will load, and then we either have to search for a patient.
Yep.
Okay, so we actually have Dalton already there, so you can see that we wouldn't have to add the patient.
Yep.
But if we need to add the patient, we would click add. We would paste in by clicking here in the patient ID field, do Control V as in Victor, and it pastes the ID number. Then we would type the patient's first and last name.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm not gonna repeat that. So then we would hit the save button down the lower right.
Yep.
So I'm gonna cancel this for a moment. So I'm gonna open Dalton. So when you click save, it will automatically come to the patient's file. Okay, so on the left, went from patient mode to find or add to the patient's file, has the information here, personal information here. Across the top, we have a toolbar to take new images. The 3D capture button, we will click, and then that tells the software that we're about to begin taking a 3D CBCT image. I would recommend, we may change this, but the artifact removal algorithm, the ARA setting, is set on low by default. Oral surgeries, you typically want to set this for high because you're usually dealing with metal opacities you want to clear up.
Yep.
I'm going to check this. Don't worry about this. This will become a default once we take this. Next thing is we'll go to the machine.
Perfect.
So on the screen, I will tap anywhere across here to change the program, which may be in panoramic mode. So you touch where it says 3D and then choose standard. That's going to be a single CBCT scan. And by default is defaulted to the full diameter and the full height. So mandible and maxilla. If you want to change it for only the lower, the mandible, or the upper, you just toggle the volume height. So I'm going to toggle it back for full and then hit the OK. Okay. Next, you adjust the patient size. So for average adult females, the middle patient would be an appropriate setting.
Yep.
For Dalton, we will choose the large patient, average adult male.
Perfect.
And a large male, the extra large setting, but we'll set it for Dalton. Then next is make sure that the resolution field is on the normal setting. It can be toggled from high to HD to low. Do not use low for implant planning. Change it back to normal. Next, press this Go 3D button. The machine's going to position itself. And now we can ask the patient to enter the machine. First things first, make sure they grab the handles. Okay, then adjust the height of the machine to the patient's resting height. Oh, glasses, partials, anything can be removed from the mouth. So we have adjust the height, maybe step forward just a little bit, be comfortable. So you want to adjust the height of the machine with these up and down arrow keys here. Go slow first, but if you can adjust for height, if you want to hold it longer. So once we're in this position, I usually I recommend to adjust our occlusion so it's more parallel to the ground. So have them smile really big and just observe that their occlusion is more flat to even tipping up a little bit. That's okay. Okay. Then next is to make sure the patient is kind of centered in the machine. So you have a laser here that's centered in the middle of their eyes. Not as critical as panoramic, but be approximate. Lastly, if you press this 90-degree button, this will rotate the arm 90 degrees and then move the sensor out of the way. You can observe the patient's shoulders being cleared by the arm. If it doesn't, raise the machine up just a little bit and have them come in tighter to the machine to help clear the shoulders and the back. Not always perfect, but do the best you can. So this wheel, this thumb wheel beneath here, guides the laser that's on his lips. You have them smile really big and adjust this laser forward and backwards so that it's in front of the teeth. You'll see that if you come right from the side here, you want to observe there, right from the profile, that laser is in front of their teeth. That sets the front edge of the CT, okay? Then we can press the 9-degree back.
When they take the cone beam, should I be smiling or should I be closed lips?
So good question. So if you intend to have a surgical guide, have cotton rolls put from the premolars, molars back. Do not use the front teeth.
Okay.
So put this separates the occlusion a little bit. It helps implant planning, the guide, surgical guide planning better, because if the teeth are in occlusion, they can't use the cusp tips as landmarks to map the digital impression of the arch.
Got it.
So have cotton rolls, put them from the premolars back to the molars.
Perfect. Now, if we're not doing surgical guides, then just straight normal. Cool.
Doesn't matter, yep. Okay, also, real quick tip, make sure the patient's chin is in the trough of the chin cup. If they rest on top of the ridge, they're gonna have problems because you won't be able to get that laser in front of their teeth. So make sure they're well rested, okay? So we're gonna press the ready button here on the screen. Okay, then ask the patient to be extremely still. Swallow now if they have to swallow. Be really, really still, okay? When that ready is green like this, it's ready to go. The exposure button is also solid green, not blinking, but solid. And you press and hold this button until you hear all tone quit. And then you can wait 1,000 Mississippi count. So that strobing effect is the tube bed turning on and off rapidly, taking frames from all the different angles. One Mississippi, release, the arm rotates back. Okay, the patient can exit.
Elon Musk just took me to Mars.
Yeah, right. So the progress bars go quite quickly, but once they're done, on the screen it says done, they'll say save the image to the database, and now this image is saved.
Perfect.
So now